Claire and I'm the facialist here at Face and Figure. Skincare has always been a passion of mine. I suffered with rosacea, so quite a lot of high colouring in my skin a few years ago, and I tried lots of different products and creams and treatments, and nothing seemed to touch it. To be honest, it seemed to aggravate it a little bit more. And then I discovered the power of active ingredients and products that are classed as cosmeceuticals as opposed to cosmetics. So this means that they actually work into living tissue and make real changes in the way that the skin is structured and the way that the skin functions. And I've been absolutely obsessed with them ever since. So the main concerns that we see from people coming through the door are active breakouts on the skin. So different forms and different grades of acne. We also get a lot of clientele that suffer with something called rosacea in the skin. So very sensitive, inflamed, red skin. And then ultimately every lady doesn't want any lines and wrinkles. So we also do a lot of anti-aging treatments as well. The treatment that I decided to do for Tracy was a program of chemical peels, bespoke chemical peels that are tailor-made to her skin at the time of treatment. So I would multi-layer different peels on top of each other as well, which is quite a unique thing that we offer here. And Tracy was suffering obviously with congestion and breakouts and acneic skin conditions. So I decided to do a form of resurfacing on Tracy, and also we want to reduce the amount of the P. acne bacteria that grows in Tracy's skin, because that's what the oil feeds on and that's what creates that pustule and papule. And we've seen incredible results.
I'm Tracy, I'm 29 and I'm from Wigan. When I was 14, I'd noticed I started getting spots, mainly on my back, and that progressively got worse. So by the time I was about 15 or 16, my back was just covered with spots, very painful, very cystic, just not nice. So that's when I noticed my skin wasn't quite right.
So we're going to start with a thorough cleanse on the skin, just to remove any impurities, any makeup residue. So this is our Purifying Gel Cleanser. And one of the most beneficial things about this cleanser is the fact that it's completely sulfate free. So the skin itself is acidic. It has a pH of about 5.5. And when we use a sulfate, which is a foaming agent, so anything that foams has got sulfates in, it really affects the pH of the skin because sulfates are very alkaline. So that causes an imbalance in the acid mantle on the skin, and it makes the skin weak, vulnerable and sensitive. And then we're just going to remove that cleanser, and then we'll go into the first stage of our treatment today. We use a little bit of gauze because it's got a slightly rough texture, which means it will help to exfoliate the skin. And then we use a peel prep solution. So what we want to do is remove a bit of the superficial oil out of the skin. Now, we've all got more oil in certain areas of the skin than others, and that's because the oil is excreted through the follicular pore, and we have more pores in this central area of the face. Hence why people say that they have a combination skin or they have an oily T-zone. It's actually just because there's more oil naturally being produced in that area. And we want the treatment to benefit the skin and not have to be wasted trying to cut through the oil, which is why we lift the superficial oil out the skin. Then we shall commence our first stage of treatment. So today we're going to be using some fruit enzymes, and these are going to come along and act like little Pac-Men on the skin. So what they're going to do is just munch away at any build-up of dead skin that sits high up on the stratum corneum. So this can feel a little bit tingly, the skin can go a little bit pink, and that's what we want. That means it's working, we can feel it, it's an active treatment. This is a really nice date night, red carpet ready treatment, and a lot of clients have this just as a really nice boost and pick me up, but we're going to use it as a prep for your advanced chemical peel today. So we would leave that on the skin for 10 minutes, then remove.
They said it's acne, and that's probably as much as what they'd go into, and just that there was just different treatments to try. So started off with a few like zinc type lotions that you just dab on your back. Looked a bit like a bingo dabber. So you had to get my mum to put that on my back. Different sorts of creams, and then went on to the antibiotics before I got put onto the pill. It wasn't really until recently that I've really recognised that acne is a skin condition. It's not just something that it's a few teenage spots. It's not they will go away when you're out of your teens. It is an actual skin condition. Eventually I got referred to a dermatologist. So I started to see a dermatologist, and they recommended I go back on this pill that I was on at the beginning. They went through the treatment with Roaccutane with me, and at the time, in my early 20s, I felt that the side effects was just too much. It's come back on my face as opposed to straight away on my back. So it was making me withdrawn again. I changed jobs, I wasn't very confident, I was getting quite upset about it. In a new relationship, so I was worried they'd see me with perfect skin at the start and now not so perfect. So I started to think about doing a bit of a blog, and then that's when Face and Figure and Claire had seen that via Instagram and got in touch and told me about this treatment, these chemical peels, and how it could help, and offered to do a consultation. It was the first time I think I had someone who sat down with me and seemed to just share all her knowledge about acne.
So they come with other conditions such as sun damage, hyperpigmentation, broken capillaries, congestion, so it could be blackheads, milia, which are the little whiteheads. We've got a lot of people that come in that actually, they just think that that's the way that their makeup of their skin is, and that's the way it is. They don't realise that actually there are solutions. So then we're going to actually start with the application of the chemical peel. So if you just keep your eyes closed for me. And this is a self-neutralizing peel, so we pop it onto the skin and we leave it on the skin. You may experience some tingling, a warming sensation on the skin, and that will only ever last for up to 5 minutes, and then it will subside. How's it feeling, Tracy?
It's fine. Starting to tingle on the forehead.
Okay. And it's precision application because this peel is layer dependent. So the more layers that we do, the deeper it's going to work into the skin. And you may experience some shedding of the skin after this treatment, and I'll talk you through your aftercare advice and what to do at home. So a lot of people think that a chemical peel is actually putting chemicals onto the skin, and it's far from it. What we're actually doing is causing a biochemical reaction on the skin. And what we do is we lower the pH of the skin. So we put it into a more of an acidic state. And what that does is dissolves the little bonds that hold our dead skin cells together. So these bonds are called desmosomes. And if I imagine it as a brick wall. So you've got a brick wall with the cement holding the bricks together. This treatment will dissolve that cement, and it means that the dead skin can be removed, which stimulates new skin cells to be produced at a rapid rate. How are your numbers? What are you feeling?
2 or 3.
Yeah, and is that kind of starting to travel as the way the peel was applied? So it'll tingle, 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 and then it will stop. And we score it on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 being barely feel anything at all, and 10 being actually this is borderline, a little bit unpleasant, don't like it. And that will dictate what I do from that. So Tracy's numbers are nice and low, which means that once the sensations travel around, I may commence with a second layer. So this is our chemical-free sun protection, and it's a physical filter. So as soon as you pop this onto the skin, it's on the skin, it's there straight away. So you don't need to apply it 20 minutes before you go out into the sun. And it's broad spectrum. That's really important to use on a daily basis because it means we get the same amount of UVA protection as we do UVB. And we want to protect from UVA, which is the ray that ages the skin, and we also want to protect against UVB, which is the ray that burns the skin. The skin is not to get wet for 8 hours after treatment. We can apply, we've got the option of applying some peel boosters, which are very unique to Lumiere MD. So we could apply something called the Detox Clear. This product kills bacteria in the skin within 30 seconds, which is essential for somebody that suffers with breakouts on the skin, because it's the P. acne bacteria that's breeding on the sebum that creates the pustules and papules. Or we could also apply some vitamin A. So retinol is an active form of vitamin A, sorry. That can also feel a little bit tingly on the skin, but if anybody doesn't want to age, that's essential.
I feel a lot more confident now going out without makeup. I've even gone to work a couple of times now without makeup and not feeling as conscious about it.
When we see the change in somebody that comes through the door, it's almost emotional. It's fantastic. The amount of clients that have come through the door and the first time they've stepped in, you can tell that their confidence is low. They'll have their head down, they'll often have their hair down, covering the concerns that they've got on the face. And by the end of a course, they're skipping down the stairs and they're out and they're happy. And you know, it doesn't just affect them, it actually also affects me. I'm just so happy that we can change people and affect how it'll affect their confidence in a positive way. And then we would finish with our anti-inflammatory and antibacterial cream. And we would always finish with our chemical-free sun protection. Now this comes in completely clear, but it also comes in 3 different shades that have mineral pigments in them. So they give you the coverage of a BB cream, and mineral pigments are zinc and titanium dioxide, so they're anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. So really beneficial for the skin. Okay, so that's the end of your treatment today. And if you just take your time to sit up for me, you might feel a little bit dizzy from lying down. So the skin looks really nice and fresh.